Hey everyone, I hope you're having a great day, great week, and I hope you are building your immune system because it is extremely important, especially if you've been watching the last of my videos. You know how important building your immune system is and how it is extremely important to counteract viruses. But today we're going to talk about the importance or the detrimental effects of hand sanitizer and disinfectant and how it actually hurts your immune system. And we're going to get into that. But right now, the first study I want to just talk about is on notobiotics. If you don't know what that is, it's basically the study of organisms in sterile environments. And so I just want to read off this quick thing from this study. You should go check out some notobiotic studies. They're really interesting, but I just have one up here. And you need to read this. It says, mice that are raised and germ-free have altered immune systems, heart, lungs, lymph nodes, metabolisms, and even reproductive abilities. In 2011, a study found that germ-free mice showed altered patterns of brain development and behavior. If the mice were exposed to a mixture of bacteria, the changes reverted back to normal. That is incredible. Okay, of course, it's just mice, but as you know, most animals in the world, they have very similar structures. They're based off the same biological patterns that we are. They're built the same. I'm not saying that we're rats or mice, but our immune systems are extremely similar, and you can study pretty much anything, and you'll find that's why they test things on animals before they test it on humans, unfortunately. So this study, notobiotic study, is showing that rats in sterile environments have a messed up body. They have messed up immune systems. Their body doesn't work correctly because we are bacteria, and we're going to get into that. But I want to first start showing you a video of this doctor, Dr. Thomas Lodi, and he's going to explain, because he is a doctor, about his position on bacteria. So here we go.
The funguses are really good. Their job is to turn dead matter back into soil. That's why 10% of the microorganisms in our GI tract are yeast, candida. 10%. They're doing a job. They're taking old dead cells and stuff like that, and they're recycling it. Just to give you an example, one of the byproducts of a bacteria in our colon, the bacteria is called Bifidobacter bifidus, is that they produce a short-chain fatty acid. This fatty acid is necessary. It's the main fuel source for colon cells. So if you don't have enough of those bacteria, your colon can't thrive, number one. Number two, this fatty acid also stimulates the colon cell to die in 3 days, 72 hours, and to make a new one. That's why the lining of our colon, the lining of our intestines, is turned over every 3 days. We have a new lining. We need to have a new lining because the inside of our digestive system is very active. It's working all the time. And so these cells need to be replaced. Okay, so this fatty acid produced by the bacteria is very important. Okay, so these bacteria have a very important function. They're doing that. And other bacteria called acidophilus, they're producing acid. Why are they producing acid? So that the healthy bacteria can live, and the pathogenic, the bacteria that would get into us and hurt us, can't live. So they're doing that. And then other bacteria are making what we call vitamin K, which makes our blood clot. If we didn't have these bacteria, we would all bleed to death. And then there are other bacteria that are stimulating our immune system. And they do all these things. And that's why we have about anywhere from 50 to 100 trillion bacteria inside and on us. And we are all obsessed with being sterile. We want to clean and get rid of all the bacteria. You don't want to get rid of the bacteria. In fact, one of the best things you can do for your immune system is stop washing your hands. Don't clean your food. I mean, if you're eating organic food, of course, shake it off. You can rinse it off, but don't scrub it with some sort of chemical. Right? Our disconnection from the earth, our disconnection from nature, tells us that we have to clean it off. Well, you can't, because these bacteria that are in there, in fact, soil-based organisms are found to be really helpful. There was in World War I think it was, the Germans were tracking the Arabs, right? And the Arabs, and what they noticed is that the German troops would, every once in a while, like every day or so, one of them would get so sick and get diarrhea that they couldn't march anymore. They would lose them. And they noticed this wasn't happening with the Arabs. So they sent some scouts up to follow them. And what they found was that every time an Arab would start to get sick, they would take the camel feces, camel dung, and eat it. We later found out that in the dung were these soil-based organisms that killed the pathogenic organisms. So this unhealthy. So here's the Germans scrubbing and cleaning and dying, and the Arabs eating the shit and living. It's very interesting. So that's how we discovered soil-based organisms. That's why they're so important.
All right, so I'm just going to give my disclaimer here. Don't don't go out and start eating shit. All right, don't go out and dip your hands in shit. Don't wash your hands and rub it all over your face. But that's coming from a doctor. And he knows about the immune system, and he probably actually studied it. Unlike most MDs today, which are just mainly big tools of big pharma. So honestly, that is extremely interesting. It's extremely eye-opening because we are a cesspool of bacteria and viruses. We have over 380 trillion viruses. 380 trillion, you can look it up. It's very common knowledge. And we have around 100 trillion bacteria in us. And I saw some things, it's a little different. Some people are saying it's less or more. And right here it says it's the ratio from bacteria cells to human cells is 10-1, but some people are saying it's actually 30 trillion human cells. But whether or not, we actually have more bacteria in us than human cells. We are literally more bacteria than human. And so when you see Purell and it says it kills 99.99% of germs, you are germs. You are a cesspool of germs. Your entire being is alive because of germs. So I'm not saying we shouldn't be sanitary and make sure we're not disgusting, but you can't, if you disinfect everything, it's just not healthy. The same with if you live in the slums and you're just in complete filth and squalor, then that's also not good. It's like the Goldilocks principle, right? You have to find a good medium, because if you're in the squalor all the time, your immune system is working way too hard. But if you're in a complete bubble and completely disinfected, your immune system never works and it never turns on. It never gets these viruses. It never gets the bacteria. So it can't adapt. It can't evolve, because we have to keep adapting and evolving, because that's what the virus is and that's what the bacteria do. They are constantly evolving, and so are we, because we are animals and we are bacteria. We are the human microbiome and the virome. So next, I'm going to show a video of Dr. Shiva Ayyadurai talking about viruses. I think his perspective is extremely important. He's one of the leaders on immunology right now, and you should definitely go check him out if you want a wealth of information. But this is just a 2-minute clip. There's not too many video clips left. I have some more about disinfectant later, but let's hear what he has to say.
So let's go back to this. Viruses do not harm or kill us. It is the overreaction of a weakened and dysfunctional immune system to the virus that results in our own body attacking its own cells, tissues, and organs, resulting in harm and death, okay? So think about that. It is not the virus that is killing even these 40 people, etc. It is the overreaction of the immune system. It is the overreaction of the immune system, because in the natural state, when your body has a proper nourishment, the proper conditions where we're not being hit with all sorts of poisonous chemicals which affect our digestive system, affect our microbiome, we're not being hit with poisonous air or poisonous water, and we make the right choices to eat high quality vegetables, our thyroid is working right, we have proper hydrochloric acid, you know what? Your body's an amazing being. It knows how to take care of itself. And that's how we get immune health. But these politicians, the CDC and the NIH, they're not talking about any of this. Shame on them. It's criminal. So let's talk a little more about this so we can get back to basic science here. Now, these dysfunctional immune response is a result of underlying pre-existing conditions. Okay, what are we talking about? Well, obesity, diabetes, heart disease, smoking, people being immunocompromised, eating tons and tons of sugar in the diet when we should not be doing that. Okay, and we'll talk about that. So we're talking really here is the body in its natural state has all these components. They work together to give you a strong immune system. Now, that means you must take some personal responsibility for what you put in and around your body. So let's go back.
So I forgot to mention something, and I actually forgot to put the slide in here. But why isn't our like medical professionals not talking about the immune system? Because all they're doing is prescribing us drugs and medications. You know, they're not actually talking about what it's important to build your immune health and how the immune system works. Because honestly, they probably don't really know because they're not taught that in school. And one thing I forgot to put in here is that the FDA told Purell to stop labeling that their hand sanitizer killed the MRSA virus, and I forgot, I think it was the Ebola virus, because it kills 99.99% of germs. Germs are alive. They are living things, but viruses, they are not alive. They are very hard to kill, so to speak, because you can't actually kill them. The sun can dry them out and they can decompose. But the best thing you can actually do for viruses is wash your hands. That's literally the only, like, all this Purell killing 99% of germs. It's just not, it's not good for you. Okay, it's not good for your immune system. And we're gonna talk a little bit later about what's actually in a lot of in this specific hand sanitizer. So I wanted to put this up here because the FDA advised consumers not to use sanitizer product manufactured by Eco Biochem. And it's a company in Mexico, because they are putting methanol in these hand sanitizers. Okay, and you can read these. I'm not going to read all of them. All clean hand sanitizer, and I'm sure they're still out there. Maybe not, because they're advising people not to use them, but I'm sure they're still on the market. But that's just one. And you know, they always come out 10 years, 20 years later, and talking about all this toxic crap that they said was totally healthy for us 20 years ago. But now, 20 years later, they're like, oh, actually, it's not very good for you. And now you guys are all suing everybody because we destroyed your health. And so I think you guys really need to take a second and look up what you're putting on your body, what you're putting into your body, because the government, it seems, and the health experts, they never know what's actually going on. It seems like they used to make plates out of uranium, and that wasn't very long ago, okay, because it glowed green, and then everybody got extremely sick and died from it. And that's just one story out of thousands. Okay, there's all throughout history, doctors and medical experts always knew what they were talking about, but now we see today, even though we have all this science, it hasn't been that long. How long has the scientific method actually been around? It really hasn't been that long. And you know, they're still putting fluoride in the water, and they're still putting it in the toothpaste, and it's because people don't actually know it's bad. So they're like, why not? Why don't we stop putting stuff in it if no one's complaining about it? And you should definitely look up what's in your water and get a filter right away, because you don't want to keep drinking this stuff. And you need to pay attention what's happening, because they're not watching out for you. Okay, nobody is watching out for you but yourself. And then, like, no, for me, I'm doing this because I feel like it's extremely important. They're poisoning us at every single level. So a continuation off of the FDA's advisement, and they tested these, and it's just a continuation talking about how toxic it is. I don't think I'm going to go into it, but it's saying it has methanol alcohol and no ethyl alcohol. And honestly, they're saying ethyl alcohol is good, but it's like, I don't trust putting alcohol on my skin. Okay, you guys can do it. I just don't trust it. I don't think it's good. And maybe in 20 years, they're going to come out and be like, okay, stop putting ethyl alcohol on everything, because it's what they do every 20 years. And so we're going to start talking about what happens when you put stuff on your skin. What happens when you put these chemicals on your skin? And so here's just a quick thing. It says the chemicals in sunscreen seep into your bloodstream after just 1 day, the FDA says. And obviously it's sunscreen, it's not hand sanitizer, but we'll get into that. But it's just, if you are putting sunscreen on your body, the chemicals are seeping into your bloodstream. And you guys honestly should be using like grapeseed oil or coconut oil, because I don't think it's grapeseed oil, but one of them has 40 SPF, just normal grapeseed oil. So why are we putting all these chemicals in these things to protect us from the sun? The sun that gives life to everything. It just doesn't make any sense. But I'm gonna make more videos on sunscreen and at a later date. But okay, we know that anything you put on your skin gets absorbed into your skin. We know that already. It's very common knowledge, and it's just insane that they think that we should that they convinced everybody to just put this crap all over their skin and it has no harmful side effects. So we're going to look at this study, an effect on sunscreen application under maximal use conditions on plasma concentration of sunscreen active ingredients, a randomized clinical trial. And so they put sunscreen on all these participants, and then they measured the plasma in their blood every 2 hours, and that's this little graph right here. And you'll see that okay, after the first 2 hours, it's very variant. And so if you look up, somebody was saying that 60% of all the stuff you put on your skin gets absorbed, and then there's the fact checkers that came out. It's like, no, that's not totally true. It's actually a variant, which is actually true. It's like it depends on what it is. You know, some things absorb into your skin faster, and some things take longer, but most of it gets absorbed into your skin. It's not the magical 60% number, but that's how it is. And you can see all the sprays over time, it gets more, it saturates more into your blood, and by the end of it, pretty much everything, all the chemicals in the sunscreen just seeped into their skin. So we're going to talk about the hand sanitizer in a minute and what's actually in the hand sanitizer, and then it's going to be absorbing into your skin. There's and I this oh my gosh, this is terrifying. Okay, so we know that it's extremely important that we have bacteria and viruses coming into our ecosystem, coming into our body, not in extreme amounts, but it's important to keep yourself healthy. And ever since this whole coronavirus pandemic started, this is what they're doing now. This is what they're putting all over where we're going to be sitting, breathing, eating. And this is a movie theater. I don't know which one it is, but look at this. Look at that. What is that? It's yellow. What is that, dude? That is terrifying. You think that's healthy? You think that whatever's in there is going to be soaking into you. That is terrifying. And so here's a daycare center for kids with stronger immune systems than any of us. They are destroying us, okay? They are destroying our immune systems. Look at this. Just everywhere. This guy's in a hazmat suit. Are you kidding me? I'm so over these scientists that are saying that, oh, chemicals, we're good. We're going to mix a bunch of chemicals and pharmaceuticals, and you're just going to eat them, but we're also going to mix a bunch of chemicals and spray them everywhere and then rub them all over your skin. It's totally healthy. Don't worry. We're scientists. You don't know what you're talking about. Look at this. This is, gosh, my kid is never going near one of these places. And I pray that you are in a situation to where you can take care of your kids at home. And if you don't, you have to stand up to this kind of stuff. You cannot let your kids be living in an area like that. You cannot have your kids breathing in those chemicals or touching those chemicals and absorbing into their skin. Who knows what's in that? Who knows what kind of disinfectant is in that? That is just terrifying. So we're gonna just talk. We're right near the end. This is the #1 brand in hospitals. Okay, and so we're just gonna look at the ingredients. I took 4 of them because the other 4 didn't really seem that toxic. One of them was vitamin E. I think it's the tocopherol acetate. It sounds scary, but it's just vitamin E apparently. So the first one I'm going to talk about is isopropyl mycetate, and that's right here. And I want to start with this one because, or let me just read it. Skin irritation may be one potential concern with isopropyl mycetate, especially when used by individuals with sensitive skin or areas where the skin is thin, like around the eyes or lips. So doesn't sound too bad, but listen to this. Often, such irritation may be a result of isopropyl mycetate's ability to increase skin penetration by other chemicals. If these other ingredients happen to be known irritants, the deeper penetration may also cause more severe irritation. And why I wanted to start with that is because this chemical makes it so chemicals absorb into your skin better. It makes it so stuff goes into your bloodstream more. And that's why I wanted to start with that. And then we're going to do isopropyl alcohol, because isopropyl alcohol doesn't absorb as much into the skin. But what happens when it's mixed with this stuff, dude? What happens when it's mixed with a chemical that it's probably going to make it evaporate slower, but it also makes it stuff absorb into your skin more, and so it's flammable. It causes irritation. It does damage to the nervous system, and then so the heart and respiratory system. This is really creepy. So I think all these are talking about like when you actually drink it. But right here it says, when absorbed through the skin, isopropyl alcohol can lead to extreme difficulties in breathing and eventual coma or death. That's just absorbing it, okay? And because everything you put on your skin is absorbing into your bloodstream. So you think putting isopropyl alcohol, which you would never drink, if you drank it, you would have to be rushed to the hospital. Why would you put it on your skin? It's a weird world we live in, that we just rub alcohol on our skin, but when we drink it, it's a poison. Obviously, a lot of people drink, but if you drink isopropyl alcohol, you will be rushed to the hospital and you could probably die. So I don't know why people think it's okay to rub this stuff on your hands, and we already know that we don't want to be just killing all the germs in the world, because we need them. We need them to stay healthy and we need them to stay strong. So the next one I'm going to do is aminomethyl propanol. And so it's an irritant. It has environmental hazards. It's contaminated. It's banned and restricted in Europe. And so it can cause serious eye irritation, harmful to aquatic life with long-lasting effects, and causes irritation, causes serious eye damage. And when this chemical gets mixed with certain, oh my gosh, I forgot the name. When it gets mixed with certain harsher chemicals, it can create nitrosamines, which is linked to endocrine disruption, cancer, organ system toxicity, and is prohibited in the use of cosmetics in the EU and Canada. And so I don't think there's not really many of those chemicals in this stuff, but the aminomethyl propanol gets used in a ton of cosmetics. So just remember this word, and you should probably look at your cosmetics and make sure it's not mixing with certain chemicals that are turning this into a cancer-causing mixture. It's a cancer. It will seep into your skin. All these chemicals mixed together. So who knows? The aminomethyl propanol could mix with the isopropyl alcohol. It could mix with the isopropyl mycitrate. And it makes it even worse. It's like, why are we putting this in our bodies? Why are we putting this on our skin? And everybody's just like, everybody's so scared that they're dunking themselves in hand sanitizer and they're destroying their bodies. So they think they're helping themselves, but in the few months when they actually go outside again and they get the common cold, they're probably going to get hospitalized, and then they're probably going to call it COVID, because you already know, if you've been paying attention at all, you know that they're inflating COVID deaths. In Washington, they're counting gunshot victims as COVID deaths. They're saying if you have antibodies of something, that they're going to count it as a COVID death. And if you know what an antibody is, all it means is that you've had the virus before. So if you've got chickenpox when you were 5 years old, you have antibodies from the chickenpox, because we have a natural system that deals with viruses and it deals with germs. We have a natural system. And so that's what vaccines are. They're trying to mimic nature and put antibodies in you. When you get the wild form of the virus, it works so much better, because your body has its own process. That's why we can't kill viruses. We only can give we can only apparently do vaccines. You can't use antibiotics and stuff with viruses. So the last one I wanted to do was parfum, which just means fragrance, which I didn't even know. I was like, I thought all of these would be way worse, but parfum, it seems to be the worst one, because it's a cosmetic ingredient, and it usually represents a complex mixture of dozens of chemicals. Some 3,000 chemicals are used as fragrances. And they don't have to tell anybody what it is, because it's a fragrance. It's an industry secret, or it's a business secret. It's like, if we have the best smell, we're not going to tell everybody, obviously. It's like, it makes sense, but it's like, you're putting, so who knows? They could have mixed certain chemicals with the amino methylpropanol, which could mix together and create nitromycin. So we don't even know what's in it. So I'm not saying that they're using it to exterminate everybody, but it's like they put paraffin in there, they put a fragrance in there. It's like, who is smelling this stuff? Why are they putting it in there? They put something in there that that is a mystery ingredient that we don't even know what it is. It could be anything. They could have literally put like uranium in there, just a tiny bit, and then mix it with some other chemicals because it smells good. It's like, that is insane to me. Um, and so, yeah, the regulatory status fragrances recipes are considered trade secrets, so manufacturers are not required to disclose fragrance chemicals and the list of ingredients. So we don't know. There's all these chemicals in here that are absorbing into your skin. And the last one, this one, this one mixes with certain chemicals and makes it extremely toxic, extremely cancerous. So, guys, we stop using hand sanitizer, okay? We don't stop being afraid of germs. We need germs to live. We need viruses to live. We've been evolving with viruses and germs for millions and millions of years. Our bodies are amazing. They are so incredible. If you are doing the right things, if you're exercising, eating right, you have a very strong social structure, you're going to live for a very long time if you don't get hit by a bus or something. So please, guys, I hope you guys learned something. I hope you learned something that you can kind of tell other people. And next time you see that hand sanitizer, maybe you just just stay away from it, because it's like, who knows what it is? This is the #1 brand in hospitals, but who knows what's in the other ones? The FDA is already coming out and saying don't take certain hand sanitizers because there's an absurd amount of alcohol in there, and it's wood alcohol, so it's not the normal isopropyl. Isopropyl isn't good, but apparently this one's even worse because the FDA is actually saying don't take it. And when the FDA is actually saying something, it's like, maybe you might want to pay attention, because I don't trust the FDA. I don't trust the CDC. I don't trust the WHO, because everything they're telling us, most of the time, is just poison. The CDC says that fluoride is the greatest achievement in human history, and it kills brain cells. Okay, they say, in order to not get cavities in your teeth, you drink fluoride. How do you reconcile that? How much cognitive dissonance do you need? Because you're like, oh, the CDC, they're the experts. They would never poison us. They know what they're talking about. It's like, if someone tells you to drink something to not get cavities in your teeth, please do your own research, man. Please. But that's the end of the video. I kind of want to make it quick. I don't think I did, but I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I'm going to be getting into more videos. I'm going to try pumping out more. I'm going to try and do one every other day. Maybe this next one is going to take a little longer. I'm going to start going into human trafficking and how 800,000 children go missing in the United States every year, just alone. 800,000. I think it's 4 million worldwide. So I'm going to start getting into some deep dive topics around here, but I want to cover this kind of stuff. We need to be paying attention to what's being put in our bodies. Okay, we thought that when we grow up, when we're kids, we thought that the government knew what they were talking about. Okay, we thought that they actually gave a crap about us, and they don't. Okay, everything I've gone through about in the medical field in the last couple of videos have proven that. Okay, they do not care. They're subverting us at almost every single level. I've only got into the medical stuff, the vaccines, I'm going to get into the medicine, but the water, and then I'm going to start getting into the food eventually, and then I'll get into the media. It's just, everything is subverting us at every level. Or our health experts and our government are subverting us at every level, and it's terrifying. And we need to do something about it. We need to educate ourselves, and we need to educate each other, and we need to speak up. Okay, because we can't just keep sitting in our homes. We can't just hide from the world, because if you hide from the world's going to come a knocking. Okay, you need to go out, and you need to talk to the world. You have to be part of it, and you have to create your own little paradise in your world. And it starts with cleaning your house and cleaning your room, taking care of your yard, and then you move out and you expand your knowledge and you talk to people and you get in disagreements. It's like disagreements are scary, but they're extremely useful. I've gotten in so many that have changed my mind over time, and it's helped me grow as a person. We are in our own echo chambers most of the time. Most of us are in echo chambers, and we need to get out of them. We have to integrate ourselves into other people's lives and show them our perspective and take in their perspective, because everybody is getting their information from somewhere. And if you don't try and counteract that, and if you don't try and show them your point of view, they're never going to know about it. They're just going to keep rubbing this crap on their hands. They're just going to go to the doctor, get 50 injections of some insane from mercury, formaldehyde. They're going to take all these pills because their doctor told them to. We can't keep this up, guys. It's not healthy, and it shows in our world. How many actual healthy people do you see walking around? Most people are crippled from disease. They're crippled. The children are crippled now. I think 1 in 4 kids are taking medication. They're children. They're the most healthiest thing on the planet, and we're shoving chemicals and God knows what into these children, and it really is depressing sometimes. But we have to keep a very positive mindset. Otherwise, everything else wins. And that's what the mainstream news is always trying to do. They're trying to create a sense of fear. All their professional fear mongers. Okay, once there's no more fear, they move on to the next thing, and we have to counteract that. So I'm gonna stop talking. I'm gonna be pumping out more videos. If you guys liked what you saw, please subscribe. If you guys are liking the informative stuff, give me a like. And please, if you didn't really like it, go do your own research and go educate people around you, because that's what we have to do. We can't change anything until we have a big group of a large majority of people understanding this stuff and learning more about it and opening their minds, and stop just being told what to do, and stop just listening to somebody in a lab coat. So everybody have a wonderful rest of your day. Stay strong. Go get some exercise. Eat some good foods. Don't rub. don't kill all the bacteria in your body. And stop being afraid. Okay, because our brains are probably the most complex thing and the most powerful thing on this planet. Okay. And once you understand that, and once you unlock the capabilities of your mind, there is no stopping you. There's no stopping who you can become. There's no stopping to what you can do. And once we realize that, we will have a revolution of ideas and thought. We will have a new renaissance. We'll have a modern age renaissance. There'll be nothing like anybody has ever seen in the history of mankind. So everybody, have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.